Good morning, potato chips. How you doing? Wee Paddy from across the shuck, and I am. This is one of the nicest videos I've had to do in a long time. And you've read the title. This is a response to Warthog Rick. And he said he was asking us, would we show our stag knives? Because he done a video on stags. Go over to his channel. I know a lot of my subs are sub to him, but if you're just new, go over and see Warthogg's channel. I'll put the name down below. Well, it's in the description there. Warthogg. Just look it up on YouTube. He's just a gem. He has been incredibly ill. I'm not going to go into the details. That's his own. But he has been very, very seriously ill. He's having a reprieve, which I hope lasts a lifetime for him now. But I'm having such joy doing this video for him. And I don't have many stags. This is all my stags now. I used to have stag GECs and I sold them to get other things because it's funny. I love stag to sort of look at, but I don't tend to carry it. For whatever reason that is, I don't tend to carry it. But the knives that I kept are knives that I enjoy. They're knives I enjoy in my collection. So let's just get talking about a quick chat about them. That's all it is. Just another chance to see some more different knives that we don't see. And even if you've only got one or two, stick a couple of jig bone knives down just to show off. But, do a respond. It's a respond for Rick. It's so nice to have him back in the community. So here we go. Let's get started. This big beastie first. This is a Shatton Morgan in stag. Really unusual front and back. I love the front of this, to be honest with you, more than I like the back. But I mean, they're two good bits of stag. Look at the thickness in them. It's not exactly even on both sides, but I don't use this knife. This is a show knife for me as such. Oh, let me get that. So you've got the Shatton Morgan on the blade there. This was made by Queen. And as usual, Queen and Shatton Morgan never had great success with their shields. A lot of the shields are a bit done. This is perfectly safe, but it sort of dipped down in when it was cut out. It doesn't affect the knife. It is actually genuinely really, really comfortable. I should use this, but I've never really used it that much. Maybe a couple of times I've carried this, but it's a lovely knife. I do like it, I have to say. I do like it. And going to the other side here, this one is a Bulldog. It's Bulldog brand. This is made in Soligen. This is a two-blade. You've got the main blade and a wee pen blade. But this is the easy opening, or not the easy opening, the one-hand opening knife. Beautiful. There's the Fighting Bulldogs on the scale there. And then on the other side, it tells you a Bulldog brand, Soligen, Germany. Beautifully made knife. Beautifully old piece of stag. Really, really nice piece of stag that's been well worn and used. And then you have tobacco on this. The bolster on this is just beautiful. Look at that, a fit and finish. That is exceptional. Really, really nice. So I love this one. Again, it's a knife I don't carry or use much, but that's okay. That is okay in my collection. Some are just pretty. And it's not as if they're safe queens. If there was a need for, or I felt the need to carry one, there's nothing, I would carry it. There's no problem. There's none of these safe queens at all, barring this one. But if you've been my channel, you know that. Here's another beautiful, look at this bit of stag. Now this is case. Everybody yaps and moans at case, and I do at times, we get on them. But you see when they do it right, they do it bloody right. Look at that gorgeous piece of stag. And then the other side, how well matched are them two sides. That is a stunning knife. This is a little swayback jack. You see a lot of people have them in the bone and whatever, but you don't see many of them in stag like this, which is why this one stayed in the collection and the red bone one went. Look at this. There we go. Prime double X stag. And I'm sure for those of you who need to know, can you see that? Let me just see if I can get that up there. There we go. Hopefully those that need to know will know what year that is. I have no notion. This is the Tony Bowes Swayback Jack. But a gorgeous piece of stag and a super little knife. For a little small knife, you can still get your 4 fingers. Well, it's hanging off a bit, but it's there, completely secure for this little knife, for all the work it would be doing. It's just stunning. Love it. Love it. And I'm going to go over the other side now, and I really another. Most of my stag knives are quite unusual. They're not ones that you see every day. They're not ones you see every day. Here's another case one now. This one has the case shield in it there. And this is a razor knife. And again, how often do you see the razor knife, the case made? I don't know how many of them they made. Let me see what this says here. This is the case USA 511098. Maybe that's 98. I'm not sure with case markings. But again, the fit and finish, just beautiful all the way round it. Look at that. Look how well the stag has been done on that. It's just a stunning little piece. It really is. And it must have broke off a bit there. A bit of the bark had come off, but it was done while they were making it, and it's perfectly sanded down. But I just love this little knife. Really unusual. And again, look, 3.5 fingers. You've got a little just razor blade there. Very sharp, very thin, and very sharp. Very thin and sharp. Beautiful. And these are 2 knives that I just love. This one, I haven't long had this one. I don't even know if I've done a full review. I think I've showed it in the channel. This is a pipe knife. So you have the blade here. The blade is sharp, blunted at the top and the sides. You have this gorgeous little pipe. Look at that. Beautiful pipe in there. And this is a Rogers knife. You can see the star and whatever there. And on the other side, it has another pipe on it. I just think the detail in that. This was for cutting up. You used to get your tobacco in blocks. And I can remember doing my grandfather's. You cut it up and then you would break it all up into tiny wee bits, roll it in your hand. It was a whole... I'm trying to think of the word. What's the word I'm trying to think of? It was just a whole palaver trying to get the pipe ready. And then it has this for a spike for going up the end of your pipe or in the top just to give it a bit of aeration. And then you had this little bit which was for tampering down your pipe when you smoked it. I was never a pipe smoker. I tried, oh God, in the 80s I tried, but wasn't me. But again, the bone in this is absolute. And this is Rogers of England that made this. Absolutely stunning bit of bone. And even that easy open notch there, which is super. I love this knife. This will go nowhere. Again, it's not a knife I'll probably carry a whole lot, but it's just lovely to have in my collection. And this is the oldest knife in my collection, probably from the 18th century at some stage. I don't really know. There's no maker's mark on it. It's just an old bit of stag. But look how much that has been worn through a couple of 100 years of just rubbing and just carried. The tiniest little blade. This was for a quill. This is for doing your feather stick, your feathers, oh, for goodness sake, Stephen. You see, nothing has changed, Rick. I'm still as blooming useless at this. Your quills, this was for cutting your quills. And a beautiful example it is of a really old stag knife. And then there's this one. This is the one you see at the top of my board. That's why I put this board behind it. Just so you could see the 3 blades. Have you ever seen 3 blades like that? You have the pen blade. You have a saw. And it's a genuine saw bit in there. And then you have the chopper. This was known as the cock knife or the cockfighting knife, the chicken knife, whatever it was, rooster knife. But it was more designed for cockfighting when that was a thing that people used to do legally. I don't know whether they can still do it now legally or not. But this was Case made this. Now, I don't know whether Case were the first to make it, but I know they made a version of it. And this was made for me by Ashley Harrison. It's not a copy. It was just his version of this knife. I just love it. It's the most odd knife in my collection. Will never be used. But, I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect working order. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. It's in perfect working order. Beautiful bit of stag. That's not a crack, by the way. That is actually just in the stag itself. And look at that on the other side. Look how evenly matched that was done. Isn't that just stunning work? I absolutely love this knife. This was actually just mucking about in his office or in his shed, making that knife, and I just love it. I just adore it, and I think that's a pretty collection. The only other stag that I'll probably buy now is if it gets pieces that are different, pieces that will just match in here and fit in with these knives perfectly. I know this is I could use this, not a problem. It's a modern knife, I could use it, but because it's stag, I tend not to, for whatever reason. Maybe you're the same. These are pretty knives to me. I, apart from this one, the rest would get used if I really wanted to. But I haven't. So there you go. All right, Rick, I hope you enjoy this. Anybody else? It's an open tag from Rick. Just show your stag knives. And again, don't be frightened if you're just new around and you've only got one or two stags. Stick a bit of bone up. Stick anything up. You know, have half a dozen knives, whatever they are, and just show them off. That's how we get into the community. That's how we get to know you and your new channels. Just get in there and join in. Take care. Paddy's away for a cup of tea before I start my old waffling. Bye now.